Santa rally continues in the second week of January. It was a quite profitable week. Hope everyone is having a nice rally in January. In this green week, I was able to close some leaps options in two different stocks, and it made me around 30% cash at the moment. Tuesday, there's inflation rate will be announced. Also, we are getting into the earning calls month, so I want to be ready for any type of opportunities. Other than leaps, I also closed some broken wings butterflies and diagonal spreads. Actually, I had also some credit spreads and some cash good puts. It was a busy week, I would say. Like every week, I will show my closed trades and newly opened trades of the week. Of course, together with my entry logic and next week's plans. Just keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. This is me just sharing my 100K profit journey in 1 year. So please do your own due diligence. Saying that, let's start directly with closed trades. If you are wondering my analytics here, numbers, all totals here, like average, monthly, weekly, feel free to stop the video and check. And I will go to my dashboard now to show this week's trades. Here on my dashboard, I'm already like 80% in my goal. I have some expiring stocks here. My Netflix trade expiring next Friday. But in 10 days, there's earning calls in Netflix. So next week, I will follow this trade during this earning volatility. I might have opportunity to close it, but we'll see. Also here, I have a few trades which current stock prices is getting close to my strike prices. I'm seeing those here getting alert. By the way, this is my own tracker app. You can find the link in the description. It is completely free to use. Right now, there are 84 active users last time I checked. So saying that, let's go and check this week's trades. I will click here, 5 January to 11 January. As you can see, I made 23 trades and I closed 18. I think, yeah, I opened 5 new trades here. All 5 new trades were leaps options, as you can see. These days, many stock is trading high in their chart at the moment, except a few quality names showing nice entry points based on my own criteria. One of them was Netflix and other one was Apple. If you are following me and my weekly videos, you know that lately I'm making a big Netflix position for myself. This week I think one, two, and yeah. This week I opened 4 contracts, but in the previous weeks I was opening more leaps contracts. So in total I have 12 contracts at the moment. I mentioned about my thought process on that. Upcoming earning call on 20 January. I think there was an emotional reaction to the previous earning call due to one-time tax issue. They're increasing subscriptions, increasing revenue and cash. So it might go up with earning next week or not, but I have trust for long term on the stock. So in my opinion, it will continue upward either sooner or later. That's why my old positions is expiring in January 2027 in Netflix. If the stock makes a big movement after earning, I will probably exit. If not, it's okay, like I have 1 year to expire in the contracts. I also open an Apple Leaps options here. Let me show the Apple chart quickly. Here it touched to the 100-day moving average, also went down from RSI, even like 20s and stochastic around 10. Again, earning is coming, but this time I noticed there wasn't much difference between 2027 and 2028 leaps in terms of purchase price. So to be safer side, I just go with the 80 Delta 2028 Apple leaps. Again, my strategy on this one, I will see how the earning will go. If there's a big movement around like 20% in short term, I might exit. If not, I can stay until like 50% profit as usual. That was my open trades together with Netflix and Apple. Let's go with close ones. I will click here. I have 18 closed trades this week. Let me sort them like this. Okay, let's start with S&P Global. With S&P Global, I had 4 leaps options. I opened them on September 2025. Let me show you on the chart. Here in this big red bar, I start buying, but I buy gradually. I buy 1 or 2 is here, and 1 is here, and 1 is here. And I completed my 4 leaps position like that. Again, it was 2027 expiration, and on the way I sold a few covered calls to get more profit. And here on this Monday, 5th of January, I sold all of them with some nice profit. This one, I think the last one I bought made like 40% profit, and others were around 10%, and this one was like $300 loss. And overall, it made a few thousand profit here. You can see my strike prices and open and close dates and expiration dates here, and how much I paid. I like these names, by the way, while most of people finding them boring, like S&P Global, MasterCard, like Costco here. They are the stocks, they are the moats in their sectors. Yes, maybe IREN or HIMS can bring you more premium, but I personally prefer to be on the more predictable side. That's why I was comfortable to put around 30K, I think, to this S&P Global Leaps. I wouldn't do this, for example, with other volatile stocks. Anyway, let's continue with other close leaps options. So I had another leaps here, 2 Uber calls. I opened those around mid-December and exit less than a month, I think around like 20 days with a over 20% ROI here. Let's check the Uber chart here. I entered to the trade on 17 here on this red day where it touched to the Bollinger Band. Again, the RSI was on that 30 level, touching to the 30 level, and stochastic went down from the 20. I enter here and I exit on this week in this jump with around 20% profit, around like $900. Like I mentioned, normally my aim is 50% profit, but within very short term period, if it makes like 20% in leaps contracts, I just prefer take the profit and look for another opportunities with that cash. I like to have in my portfolio some cash. Let's continue with other close ones. Here I have some cash secret puts. I really like to have some cash secret puts in my portfolio, but again with fundamentally strong stocks, which I wouldn't mind to get assigned. I had this week Amazon and Robinhood close. They made nice over 1% ROI here. Total, I think I got like $400 here. My expiration dates was around like 40 days here. I opened on the Amazon one is like mid-December and expiration was February. Strike price 200. And for Robinhood, again, I opened around same days on that 17. I remember like I opened Ubers. I think all market went down on that week. So I opened some cash secured puts, some credit spreads maybe, and leaps options. So my expiration was like similar, around 1 month to 2 months. For example, last week I got assigned to an Amazon cash secured put. I think it was 235, and I got 1 shares from 235, and then I sold immediately this week on Monday when the stock had a little upside movement. The premiums is better for covered calls when the stock going up. So I sold 250 covered call with those shares. Right now, stock trading over 240. Let's see if it's sold. I will get, let's see, I open Amazon covered call on Monday for 5.27. So if it moves above 250 and sold, I will get over $500 premium, and plus I will get a stock appreciation around 15-point increase, so $1,500 stock appreciation from that 250 selling price. Let's go to close trades. And I had these credit spreads I opened for a long time ago, I think. And since Costco isn't moving that much up and down, so I think I define my expiration like 4 months in the future. And I'm glad I did that way because I managed to close it just this week after opening it in November. And I profit around like 9%, 182. My strike price was around 800. Lastly, I had some diagonal spreads and broken wing butterflies close this week. Let's start with diagonal spreads, and one of them is TLT. So I had this long call expiring in April, and against that I'm selling short calls while waiting that stock going up, and if stock going little down and sideways, I can profit from that short call. If not, my long call will bring more profit than the short call. So last week I closed one because I made over like 50% profit. So I closed that one, and same day I opened another one, and this week I closed that one as well, and my sold price of short call was 0.31, and I was able to close it 0.1, which is over like 60% profit. And from that trade I made around $100, and previously I had also another $90. So right now it's still open. I might consider next week to open another short call if the LT still continues sideways. So that's why it is still open. My long call is still open. I will see how that one will go. MasterCard was similar. I had closed previous week a short call around $200 profit. My open price was 3.3 and close 0.68. Makes around like $250 profit. And this week, last week I opened another short call since MasterCard was continuing like sideways. But what happened this week, MasterCard made a big upward movement. The good side of the diagonal spreads, you earn on the downside with the short calls, but if the stock goes up sharply, yes, those short calls going to be in the money, and but since the long call has higher delta, it is profiting more than short calls lose. And here I made like $900 in this long call trade, and on this short call I made around like 700 loss, and it made around $200 profit from this week's trade. And overall spread campaign was around $400 profit and 6% ROI. Lastly, broken wings butterflies. Here the Microsoft one. I have mentioned about this type of trade, like selling 2 put options and buying 1 put option. You are earning all type of upside movements, even though it is capped, but also you are earning from downside up until to 15% drop. I'm doing this when the stocks are already down in all indicators, so another 15% drop is unlikely, but I'm being very careful with these ones. I'm not trading like volatile stocks where they go up and down 20% like roller coasters, because downside is risky with these 2 short puts. But like I said, like Microsoft was already very much down, and 2 put options kind of giving you a nice cushion on the downside. And again, since the long put is higher delta, downside is making more profit than the upside. But what happened with Microsoft and the CrowdStrike was same. Both of them made the up movement. So I took profit around $200 and $300 and exit the trade in about like 14 to 20 days is kind of my average days. So that was all from previous week's trades. Here the earning calendar in my app. As you can see, there are many earning calls in my watch list. I might open a few credit spreads if there's opportunities. Also on Tuesday, there is this inflation rate announcement that can create also some opportunities. So I can add to my leaps options maybe if the stocks continues to drop. Other than that, I'm staying almost like I mentioned 30% cash at the moment. In the earning months, I usually prefer to have that kind of amount cash. So we'll see. January and February will be very excited. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to put your comments if you have any questions about my trades, about the app, or anything in general. Have a nice weekend and see you next week.